that's it. Richard's got the slide there. So I'm Elaine, as I said, and I'm part of this great initiative which we've set up in Stansted. So back in July, we didn't know each other. We had no connection to each other. There was 3 local young men that committed suicide within 10 days, or completed suicide, we should say. Don't I say committed anymore. Completed suicide within 10 days of each other. You might have seen it, you might know of people, and they were just the ones that were successful. There was more that were thankfully unsuccessful. And we sort of came together, and sort of there was a plea, you might have seen it, that went out on sort of Stansted Matters, saying, you know, can we do something as a community? Is there any way that we can sort of pull together and I don't know, do something and try and train people up? So that's what we've done. We sent out this plea, a wonderful bunch of people all got together, which is us. There's sort of 7 of us, and it's gone from strength to strength, really. So we have set up this initiative. We've got a Facebook page, website. We've had some wonderful support from local organisations and Local Mind, who have put on training courses so we can train people up in the community. Our vision, as we're going to talk about in this talk, is to get everybody involved, all the local businesses involved, to either be mental health ambassadors or first aiders, to be a point of contact, and to be, because you're out in the village and you're talking to people all the time, signposting, supporting, or doing some crisis intervention, as well as just, you know, we're trying to get the message out there to raise awareness that, you know, we're no one's alone in this village, and we're a really great community. We're going to put on all sorts of activities and groups, which I think Richard will talk about in a bit, and we want the whole community to be engaged in something, doing things positive, whether that's exercise or doing, you know, crafting projects, allotments, whatever, and also, you know, supporting each other. So that's our aim, and that's how we got together. So it's gone really quick, actually. We launched in September, and we're registering as a business, which Dina's doing for us, and all sorts. So it's fantastic so far. So we'd love you to be involved, and Richard will tell you how.
Wow, I've never known you to be so brief. That's fantastic.
No, right.
I was expecting a good 3 or 4 minutes at least. Thanks, Elaine. So I put some figures up there just a minute ago on mental health issues. Just I'm not going to read them off, but you can see that obviously, and it's been in the news regularly over the last few months, that mental health is a big issue and a growing concern, and it's something that is affecting people right across society and right across the spectrum, really. And we have to do something about that. So this idea at the bottom here, frontline support, doing things within the community to support other people. Which obviously reduces the burden on the NHS, but also potentially saves lives as well if we're able to intervene with people who are having suicidal thoughts or in abusive relationships or self-harming. That could have a significant impact on people. So these are our goals. As Elaine has mentioned, we want to raise awareness. We want to get people trained in mental health awareness, and also this concept of mental health first aid, which isn't a medical intervention, it's a talking service. It's the ability to identify people who might be having mental health problems of different kinds, depression, anxiety, abusive behaviour, that kind of thing, and intervene by offering an outlet for them, an opportunity to talk, signposting them on to professional services. We don't train people as counsellors and therapists, but we will signpost people to the right services that they need. And as Elaine has just mentioned, we want to facilitate or create or support community activities and outreach projects. So, we're looking at the idea of setting up a men's shed. I'm trying to encourage people to go out walking. At the moment, it's in pairs. That's all we can do, but hopefully later on in groups. And projects of that kind anyway. So it's really going from strength to strength. And we wanted to introduce this to you guys and to businesses in general, just to try and raise awareness of how you can get involved. Obviously, we need money. We are paying for training for people. We've got a group of 16 people currently going through a training program, which has been paid for by Mind in West Essex. But we've got lots more people who would like to be trained. We need some money and facilities in order to promote what we're doing and to raise awareness through the village. One thing that we're planning to do, and I think it's definitely going to happen now, is we're doing a Christmas card of some kind that will be distributed around the village in December. Iris has very kindly organised with local schools to have children produce the artwork for us, and we'll have a little competition going on to produce the artwork, and then we will get that printed and we will get it distributed in some way around the village, hopefully to every household if we can. So, you know, we would love to have somebody to sponsor that. We need some money to put that together and do the printing work. And then obviously any kind of direct donations to support our work. So that's one area of it. And that might be a donation in kind. So depending on the kind of things that you do, there might be ways in which we can dovetail into what your business is and support each other, promote your business in the community while you're helping us to get our message out there. But we're also very keen to get businesses themselves working within the community. So nominating somebody as an ambassador, and I realise that a lot of people in the forum, as we are at the moment, are sole traders or working on their own. So maybe that's not entirely relevant, but there are courses that we have on offer and that we're working with to enable you to have a kind of champion for mental health within your business. And that's not that supports your business, it supports your staff, and potentially it helps you to work with some of your customers as well. So that's an area that we'd like to follow up with businesses. And then finally, businesses can help us just to spread the word. So we want to produce posters and leaflets. This Christmas card needs to get out there. You could potentially just get part of our message out there in some of your communications or your briefings with your staff. And for smaller businesses that have got staff, as and when we're allowed, we would be more than willing to come in and do short briefings on mental health issues, just to raise that awareness with people. So that's what we are interested in doing with you guys and with the wider business community. We're still in our early stages. We are to some extent restricted in what we can do at the moment, but it's a great opportunity to do some planning, to do some discussion. And so I'd like to really open up the mics, if possible, and just ask you guys for any kind of immediate feedback on mental health issues. You know, how are you feeling about the situation we're in, whether mental health is an issue for you or for the people that you work with, or what you're seeing within your particular business area, and are there ways that we can help in terms of giving information or even providing some kind of support service. So if it's possible, James, to kind of open up the mics, and you know, myself, Elaine, Rachel and Dina are all here online to answer questions or have a discussion. It sounds like you may have to unmute yourselves. No, I'm not hearing anyone.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can't hear you, James.
Well, I think everybody needs to unmute, don't they?
Yep, that's it. So yeah, if you unmute yourself,
perfect.
You may need to go back to speak.
Can I firstly contribute and say, well, what a fantastic initiative, and thank you for making the effort to make the effort, which isn't easy in I suppose in an environment that has such negativity at the moment. I mean, if I just start off by saying all of us no doubt have had good days and bad days, and trying to control that from time to time really relies on the people and the contacts around us. And the most vulnerable, I think, are those who don't have access to friends or family at certain points. And that first lockdown for so many people was desperate. And the result of that has been, I think, an acceleration of mental health issues, which have resulted, as you say, in domestic violence, general negativity, not just for in families who have had to spend time and have been forced to spend time together, but in terms of school children who don't know where their future is going to be, to people who have lost their jobs or think they're going to lose their jobs and have not sure where the income's going to be coming from. It's affected us all. And I suppose more than anything else, the suddenness and the immediacy of realizing that as a society and individuals and families were so vulnerable from such what started as a very small thing last December to what is now a pandemic and a global problem where there is really no light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that's the big problem for people. So mental health from, I see and deal with people every day in my business as a solicitor, and it has had an effect, and it's had an effect on them, the way they deal with things. People are acting in a different way to their normal, the normal sort of profile that I would expect. And I think a service that can support those who are most vulnerable is welcome and should be applauded. I'll just finish by saying you've asked for a sponsor for the Christmas cards. What sort of figure are you looking at?
Ideally a few £100, but we haven't actually done a final specification yet.
I think that's something you should circulate, because either we as a forum might be able to have ask each of our members to contribute a sum, or I'm not sure what's in the coffers of the forum at the moment. I don't think it's very much, but Iris can advise. But I think that would be an absolutely brilliant initiative for the local community.
I'd agree. I'm happy. I'll circulate anything, Richard and Elaine, if you want to send anything to me, and then we can put that out next week.
Absolutely. I mean, one simple way of doing it is we do have a Just Giving page. So I can give you that address.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, do you want to pop the link in the chat as well, if that's all right, before you go? And then if anyone wants to donate or pass that on to anyone else, that'd be fantastic.
Can the slides from the talk be circulated to the wider forum group via email?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, is that all right? Yep, we can do that then as well. Wonderful. Yep, good idea, Martin. I think we've got time for maybe one more comment or one more question, and then we'll move on, if that's all right. Does anyone want to add anything?
Actually, I will say one other thing. I think a member of our group is Nikki Mason, who is a trained counsellor. She has a little office in Station Road above my ground floor office. And I wonder whether she would actually assist on a voluntary basis to give you some a steer maybe on certain areas that you might find her expertise useful on. So
I think she probably already is, Andrew. I think she already is. It does ring a bell, that name. We have had about 100 people volunteer to support us, and several of those are counsellors or therapists, and we're slowly networking with them to bring them in together. But I will double check. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
For that.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your time. And we've got a Facebook group, Let's Talk Stansted. If you're on Facebook, join up. Even if you just want to be part of it from a distance, or if you want to be actively involved, we're putting on all sorts of events and training, as we said. So if you want to train directly or train your staff, then that's something we can talk about and point you in the right direction or sign you up for. But thank you very much for letting us join your meeting.